games, that one for the boys. And the Republic was like Man Republic. They went on to fill a player with a pupil of P6 as their goalkeeper. Of course, they won that position, and the Republic was the school that was given the grant to go into the semi-finals. Now we have seen it's a tradition and a culture in some of the schools. Hooliganism cases and indiscipline cases, every season it cannot miss. So what are the causes, and at the same time what can we do such that we calm down these cases of hooliganism and petition cases?
I want to start with one big story that probably happened last season, where you did see Arua Public petitioning, of course, Manibe. Yes, it was a very genuine thing. You can petition a team, you can petition a school, basing on what exactly evidences you have. And exactly, they had the evidences and got it correct. I take that back to, of course, to the schools. How do you allow, or how do you bring in a student or an eligible player to come and play? That is one. Two, why don't you even get ashamed by bringing a primary kid to a secondary school in just a favor of playing? So that is one. Two, I mean, three, now it comes to what exactly you as a school want. If you feel you need to really be the sporting school around, give bursaries to players that you see are very good, that you think are going to be the best. Give them bursaries. Let them come and play for you. You know you want to be the leading school in sports. That is what very many schools are doing. We were here with Imbogo. That's what they do. We were here with different schools that came through and hosted some members here. They were telling us the issue is whatever they want is being the best in the sports world, and that means they have to always plan ahead. They were looking for players from Arua, from West Nile, from different parts of West Nile, because they know West Nile is a hub of talent and they want to bring these people here. So you see, all that is happening makes you feel, okay, this is what is there and this is what we need to do. Two, I can say that clubs cause such chaos by themselves, or teams, or schools. How do you allow students go off your hands? When I was still in school, we were carried out. We were given tasks. We were called and addressed. What we were told to do is A, B, C, D, and we were always monitored. Go in school uniforms so that you can easily be identified. You are taken in the school truck or van. By then we had a truck which was nicknamed as Sigiri. Wherever it starts, there's a lot of smoke in it. My S1, I was at Vura. And that is how exactly it was. Chaotic it was. Every time we go and face Mvara, it is going to be a war. But they make sure without you leaving the office or the school, you are fully in uniform. So that any slight mistake that happens, they know that is a Vura student and it's so and so. That is one. Most of the times, hooliganism and the rest come when people start drinking. How do I even start drinking alcohol when I'm in a uniform? So obviously they will see. But it is very hard controlling people. It's very hard controlling students. It's very, very hard controlling an individual, a human being. Why? Because you thinking this way, you have a lot of other things, that's when it sneaks. Then two, three, there's that way. Most of the times when it is approaching to school, let's say sports time, very many students request to go home, to go out. And when they go out, what happens? They go ahead, they don't return. You have been given permission sheet, of course tomorrow is a game, or next week. Others fall sick on that day. These are the same people who now come and start, they come in layer. They are coming to mix up with the teams and it causes issues. So I think those are some of the things schools need to adjust to. One, career guidance. Two, give sensitization of what exactly you need. Three, get the best quality players always in your team to make sure that these other people or these other students feel this is what we are going for. There's a purpose. Four, let's withdraw that mentality of every time it's supposed to be this school winning. No. Any school can win so long as you strategize. So I think those are some of the things, but I think to the organizers of the school games, more deployment has to come on board. We have seen even tear gas, some games ending up in tear gas. More deployment has to come on board, more of the schools that should come in there. In fact, I wanted numbers should always be limited to come and cheer games, but it's very hard because when a school reaches final, how do I stop them? They may even pick the whole school to come and support their team. They may get all those. Those are some of the things. I remember it reached an extent where school games were even taken off away from the towns because of chaos. But look at the distances they were going. I think it prevented a little bit, yes, but at last it also affects, because a game that is supposed to be played in Arua City, if you take it to Arua District, where is the essence? If you take a game that was supposed to be played in Arua City to Terego District, where you can just in a way that because you're trying to avoid these issues. So I think schools should do a lot to sensitize, to educate their pupil, their students on how this is. It's not a do or die, it's just a football. And that is what we need to do, and that's what exactly schools have to do and make sure. But I still want to emphasize, if always you approaching this, you know, every season there's that season of sports, give scholarships to different students who are in different sports disciplines. If it is athletics, give them. If your target is also football, give them. If it is the basketball, give them. If it has a talent of hockey, give them. Baseball, give them. That is how exactly the pioneer schools that are doing, all the big schools you see that are pushing Chitende, you will always hear Chitende, because they know what will sell them is the sports.
Yeah, of course, a very brilliant advice and analysis coming from our own brother, that's Mr. Owen, to the students general and also to the school administrators, because you, the administrator, you remember the students are into your hands. If they go out of your hands, of course, the parents will be in position to blame you, the administrators. And to add something little on to what he has said, of course, taking it aside to the world of petition, of course, you know, normal when these games before they kick off like this, schools normally they take these players for vetting, and it's the role of these people who are behind the vetting to make sure that at least the people, the students, the players who are vetted are the ones who are students. Of course, it's also the schools themselves who go out, like Mr. Owen said, going on to spot a player, a villager, to come and play for your school. It's something which cannot work because it's a tournament which is for the school. It's not a 4th Division League tournament, a Division League tournament. Those villagers, they have got their own tournament. If they wish, they can organize theirs. But this something, it comes once in a year. It's a co-curricular activity in a school, and you go out as an administrator, as a sports minister, to spot a player to come and play for you. It's something which does not sound so much. And also the case of hooliganism, to some extent, I also blame the school administrators. For this reason, you know that it's a co-curricular activity, it's even registered, and it comes once in a year. And you see some of these schools, they have got their own policy, they have got their own rules. You see that they will say that the players, they have to be the ones to go for these games, while the rest, they should go and attend classes. What kind of awkwardness is that? It's something which comes for every student. Then if you say that the rest of the players, they should go to class and attend classes, you mean the priority of the players is to come and play? No. You think that the players, for them, they will go and play, while the rest of the students, they will come and attend classes? No. The parent will not be happy if he or she sees his or her own student going out to play while the rest are attending classes. So me, as being a student, assume that I'm a student, I am not a player in school. And if they tell me that I should go and attend classes, while my students, those ones who are players, they go out and they play, it's something which does not sound so nice, which means, in summary, my advice here to the students, to the parents, to the administrators is that when it's the time for co-curricular activity, like a sporting activity like this, you allow all the students to go, like Mr. Owen said. The only thing is for them to be in school uniform, such that we can be in position to identify them outside outside there. If it is a period for that, allow them to go, rather than you said that around 15 to 30 they will be the ones to go, the rest will be in a class. That is the one factor which will anger the rest of the students. At the end, they will cause the hooliganism cases, sometimes going on to strike. So those are the things which we think we can feel, which we think that we can discuss before the kickoff of the Arua City Inter-School Ball Games. Of course, leaving that story, and we also cross over to Stanbic Uganda Cup. Remember, we had one game on the card. It was, of course, between Police FC and Ndejje University. And in that game, of course, Police FC, they were the Victoria side going on to beat the side Ndejje University by 2-0. And in that game, they have now sealed their place into the quarterfinals of the Stanbic Uganda Cup, which means they have joined teams like Adjuman Town Council FC, Calvary FC, Police themselves, teams like Bull, you talk of Express, KCCA, Soltino Bright Stars. Of course, they have already sealed the qualifications to the quarterfinals, and we are waiting for the draws of the quarterfinals. And remember, out of the games that we have played in the round of 16 of the Uganda Cup, of course, we have 3 teams that have represented the big league side in the competition, and 5 coming from the Star Times Uganda Premier League. And I am very happy, glad to mention for you that we have 2 teams that are all playing in the FUFA Big League from West Nile based side that are going to represent our own region, I mean in the Adjuman Town Council, and a team in the names of that's Calvary.
Yeah, I want to start from where you've just left. It shows what exactly West Nile is all about. Whether the big guns are not there, you still have the junior guns that will be coming right there. It's one spirit that everybody will always have to put forward to see that things work out. Interestingly, I want to say that you still have more. You still have big league teams into the game. Now it is battle, where of course from the men and maybe. That is separated. We saw the regional league teams, we saw other teams that came in there and they're already pushed off. So now it is where you battle. And of course we're waiting for the draws that will be coming to see how exactly, which team will this face, which team will the other face. Just imagine Adjuman Town Council is being given Bull at home, or Adjuman Town Council is being given Vipers at home, or Calvary is being given Bull at their home here. What happens? It's going to be one of the interesting moments for them, in a way that they will have a lot of chances to make money. That is one. 2, it is very, very big to prove themselves that if they go to Uganda Premier League, they also have a chance to play against such a team and make sure that things work out. So it's a very, very big one. But I want to say this is not just where they have reached, is just not an easy stage, but it is a stage where one can make money. Exactly. The more stages you go, the more money you get. And that is the best advantage for this club. So I think Police, yes, it wants to show, it showed that yes, we are still a side that really is competing, a side that wants to get into the Uganda Premier League, a side that has ambition. And it is not only ambition in the FUFA Big League or the second tier, but there is that ambition of dominating football also in Uganda. We are a COPS team, yes, we know, but we also need to deliver. So it is all onto what we need to put into the books. I think Police is doing well. Even in the league, you're seeing them pushing on very, very well. And I expected that win for them yesterday, just like we talked about it yesterday. And it was very, very deserving, because Ndejje has not been all that so much good in the league even itself, but where they reached was by the lack of God that things worked out, and exactly now they have reached where they were separated from the active play and where exactly they needed to be. Congratulations to Police.
Of course, it has not been an easy journey for all the teams that have already sealed the qualifications to the quarterfinals of the Stanbic Uganda Cup, right from the round of that 64 coming to 32, round of 16, this time into the quarterfinals. Something which is also great, like you said, it's going to earn like money for them. Of course, a team, it's possible for our own West Nile based side, you talk of Calvary and the Adjuman Town Council, because previously we saw so many teams from the big league side going into the finals. On the Baraka went for that, so many of them. So it's possible for Adjuman Town Council to proceed to the semi-finals and also to the finals. At the same time, Calvary, they also having the chance, and if they really saw the ambition and the mentality that they can still do it as far as the Stanbic Uganda Cup is concerned. And shifting our attention from the Stanbic Uganda Cup, remember we have in the Star Times Uganda Uganda Premier League. Of course, yesterday there was one game on the card. It was Soltino Bright Stars that did play out UPDF. Of course, it is the relegation battle for the team, that's UPDF, and in the fixture they emerged as the victorious side, going on to edge the side, that's Soltino Bright Stars, by a 1-0, and it has made them to climb somewhere with the 15 points. And remember, today we are having two big fixtures to be played in the Star Times Uganda Premier League. Of course, the two fixtures, they are all tense and tight. Remember, Ruakiri Sports Club, they are traveling away to Maroons, and at the same time there is a very top of the table class between the two sides, that's Sports Club Villa alongside Bull FC, because Bull, they are the third team with 29 points, and Sports Club Villa, it's only the difference of 2 points that's separating them, because Sports Club Villa, they are having something like 31 points. And it's going to be, like I said, a battle of the top of the table class between those Sports Club Villa and Bull FC. So Sports Club Villa, we all know that ever since the second phase of the season bounced back, they have been doing so well, unlike in the Stanbic Uganda Cup where they already knocked out. And remember, I can confirm to you that this particular year is going to be the third time these two sides are going to meet, because in the round of 16 of the Stanbic Uganda Cup, they played, of course, because of the petition, they had to replay it again, and it was Bull FC that managed to advance into the quarterfinals. But this one, it's going to be in the Star Times Uganda Premier League. So is it going to be Sports Club Villa this time? Imagine as the winner, or else it's going to be Bull FC still dominating it against Sports Club Villa, because if Bull FC beats Sports Club Villa, it's going to be their third consecutive win this year, because previously 2 times they have met, as I said, in the Stanbic Uganda Cup, being emerged as the winning side, and this time it's going to be in the Star Times Uganda Premier League.
Let me start with yesterday's game. There was a tense game yesterday in the Uganda Premier League. Of course, an incident that happened, how the goal came in for, that is the team where UPDF, of course, won against Soltino Bright Stars, a goal that, of course, saw very big discussion in right there. There was a goal. In fact, how the goal came in and how the red card came in. The incidence of the goal was that there was a goal or a crossing that came in there, and the goalkeeper said he was fouled. And of course, the referee could not give anything, made the game continue. But of course, UPDF took the advantage and got it at the back of the net when the goalkeeper was still down, just like you see on your screen right there. What happened is that the referee, center referee, really is the final man and counted the goal. That's why UPDF celebrated the goal. UPDF was at home and they got that goal in there. Now, look at how the goalkeeper was down still, but nothing happened after the referee allowed the goal coming in there. When you look at what exactly the incidents after that was the goalkeeper pulled the leg of the referee when he was trying to move away, and then of course this is the goal, how it came in. Let's first have that goal. That is there. Have you seen any knock on the goalkeeper? Is one thing that you should be noting so much. Then you have also the move that came in through from look at that crossing, and then the goalkeeper jumps, he punches the ball. Okay, and then this guy gets the ball still in play and taps it in at the back of the net when the goalkeeper was still down. If we have the second clip, you look at that. That is how they celebrated. Now, this same goalkeeper reacted towards the referee. It's just like how Mitrovic got a red card. Where they got the red card is the referee was trying to move off from the goalkeeper. Then the goalkeeper had to grab his leg not to move. And there the referee had no choice than showing him the red card, and of course fans, the players started making a lot of noise, and that's how exactly it happened. So it was really so controversial in a way that that goal came in there. You look at there, he tried making their ways, he tried writing his goal, but when he tried moving away from there, that was where the incident came in the second clip of the video. So it is one thing, courtesy of that is the prime that showed the game in there. But all in all, UPDF, looking at that, you would think that maybe a knock on the goalkeeper, because it was after the goalkeeper had punched the ball, and the person who passed near him, could have knocked him or touched him a little. Remember, goalkeepers' issues are always so special. But the referee decided for the game to go on, and that is one thing that happened. So it was a very, very tight game, and we didn't see in there. But of course, he said he was even close to the goalkeeper. He didn't say anything.
Of course, in African football, remember, we don't use VAR. Of course, it's only in Egyptian Premier League and in Moroccan League. That's where you see VAR is used. Unlike in European football of late, we have seen the final decision coming from the VAR.
For you VAR.
Yeah, they are yet to bring, but in the current situation, it's not there. They are taking a look at the situation. Remember, like you said, in a game like this, a goalkeeper has to be treated like a baby. And you also said that in Ugandan football, of course, the final decision maker is the center referee. And truly, it was a foul because the referee, not the referee, rather the goalkeeper was knocked after he had punched the ball away from the 18 yards box. And I expected the center referee to come up with a fair decision as far as that foul was concerned. But since center referee is always the final decision maker, and he had allowed the goal to go into the back of the net, and he did draw up his final decision that it was already a goal, and UPDF is a side that has been yearning to look for wins, to make sure that they avoid relegation. And to me, the whole blames will go to the center referee for not making a fair decision. And I can confirm to you that these are the cases whereby you are going to see the cases of hooliganism. If the fans were to be angry enough, that was the time when we are going to see the fans reacting to the referee, reacting to the players of the other opponent team. I think next time when a goalkeeper is knocked in a scenario like that, at least as being the center referee, this will come up with a fair decision as far as such acts are concerned.
Okay, that's a very big one. But of course, when we talked about the Uganda Premier League game today against Maroons and Arua Hills Sports Club, that's also another big one. But of course, I think that would be the best way to start the second half after making some money.
Of course, we are yet to go in for a short break, and when we get back, we are going to look at the analysis of the game between Maroons and the team that's Sports Club Arua. At the same time, remember, as I said earlier on, Sports Club Villa, they are going to tussle it out with a side in the names of Bull FC. We are yet crossing for a break. We are coming back shortly.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
Family is not an important thing. It's everything. All family members, children of all ages, ladies in the house, and the big boys. StarTimes gives your family a complete TV entertainment, reliable signals everywhere in the country, standby customer care services, most affordable and convenient subscription. StarTimes, big on global, more local channel, most affordable. StarTimes is with you no matter the situation.
Welcome back from that short break. Remember, we are doing the analysis of the game between Maroons and the team that's Sports Club Villa. At the same time, the game between Sports Club Villa and Bull FC is currently going on. Remember, it's still a barren road. The first half is getting almost done. It's a barren two sides, but Arua Hills Sports Club traveling away to play Maroons.
Yeah, a tough game it is, a tough contest for the two sides right there. I remember the first game was right here at the Nzikuru Stadium, or the Arua Hills Stadium. You could say Barifa, where their home ground is, but it was not an easy one for Maroons. It ended 3-1. I remember it was a tough game for them after the 3-1. Yes, Maroons had scored first, I remember, and then of course Arua Hill had to come back and score 3 goals officials to make sure that things work out for them. But this time round, it is going to be a tense one because it is 3 consecutive plays that Arua Hill Sports Club has played without the team of 3 Maroons have played 3 consecutive games and they have not lost any game. But for Arua Hill Sports Club, they have gotten in a very good, conceded 3 times in 3 games that they have played consecutively. So it's not an easy one at Luzira, because Luzira is a place where you're going to be seeing the fan bases for, that is the team of Marunza. You have, if it rains, that place is so slippery. I've ever been at Luzira. You will feel that this is what exactly Maroon team players know best. If it rains, trust me, it is very hard picking a win at Luzira. But of course, Arua Hill has a lot in their books. They're going to be missing the services of Bright Vuni. They're going to be missing the services of Twaha Rashid, who has been engaged with the national team. You have names like Innocent Maduka, who has not traveled with the team. Alan Mugalu is another name who, by the way, had not turned back for training in Ryder. So a lot of things that have been coming in there. But what do we look into the team? Rumors have it that this team, even the Bright Vuni, who has not traveled, has his issue of saying that, you know what? I'm not being paid and I shouldn't be able to make sure that I go for this. He has not been in the camp. He went off the camp because the pay has not been there. Around 6 to 7, reportedly has 6 to 7 months that has not been paid. Leave alone that. I also had, out of all these months that have not been cleared, 1 month was cleared prior to the game. So I think it's one thing that is motivating. I mean to say that let's give them a motivation so that they can go and play this game, because most of the players had ceased from training sessions. They didn't want to go. Others were just training because it is job. Others, but internally they are not happy.
Exactly.
What does that show? What does that bring? 6 months I'm not paid. It's like, okay, a breach of contract to me. It's like, okay, this is that. That is what exactly the players feel, because on their contracts they were paying. Now, it brings me to a question. Where is the money?
Yeah.
What happened? Because I still recall every other person calling Arua Hill Sports Club money banks. Do you still remember that word? The money banks.
Of course, of course.
That was the statement by then. The money banks. Where are they? 2, in football, it is not about being the money banks. Being the money banks with a purpose. What do I mean? How do you spend this money? What is that source that generates this money? Trust me, if it is an individual, it's going to be very hard. If the club itself cannot generate any money, it's going to be very hard. It will be very hard if the club cannot generate money. How do clubs generate money? 1, sale of merchandise. How often does Arua Hill sell its kits? That's the current merchandise I can talk about. Arua Hill brought kits at the start of the season. How much have they so far got? Go to Arua Hill offices right now, say you want a kit. You find a bunch of them. They're not flowing the way it is supposed to. Recently I saw on social handles, it was reduced to certain amount. You buy at that amount and you're given 2 as one as a bonus. That means you're acquiring 2. Then there's that percentage that was reduced to make sure that this runs. But still, the vibe is not there. That is how money is got. How many fans do go for Arua Hill Sports Club games when there's a match day? How much do they get as a gate collection revenue is the question. Can it sustain the club? Can it run a club? Maybe even Arua Hill going out maybe around 6 million just for a trip to Kampala, sleeping, accommodation, feeding, transport, to and fro, 6 to 7 million. Allowances, what about every time you go out and you're spending? So that is the thing. But to me, I think Arua Hill Sports Club started on a good note. The hype was there. The money banks was working. But right now, I think the investor in this club has, because there's always no direct profit you get from a club. Trust me, even if you win the trophy, the money you spend in a season is not worth the trophy you win. I think EPL was giving 60 million. Still, it very little, very, very little, that you can spend over 100 million plus in a season, but you're just fighting for a 60 million. That also has a lot of issues to do. So I think that is one challenge. But every club in Uganda is suffering because of the pays, not only in Uganda, in there. So I would advise also players, it is happening everywhere. Even if right now you shift to a club, another club, the same. That's why I keep saying, I think it's very good for Nduparaka that they knew, okay, we don't have the money, and their fans even understanding that, the players understanding that, according to that. Let's go for the level that we can afford. Yeah. The players in Arua Hill, maybe that are earning 800 a season. Maybe there are some players that are earning 1 million. What about 1 million or 800 or 500 for 25 players? How much would that be in a month? Exactly. And how much does the club generate? How much income does the club generate? Those are very, very big things that are coming. So I want to say it's so tormenting. It always affects. Don't get surprised. If the boys will not put a spirit of fighting for this, then they would not be able to win that game. But if they put a spirit that, okay, we got this, but we can still acquire the rest, then they are going to make that. It is one thing. Right now, reports have it that Coach Charles Livingston Babazi is the manager of the team, and of course, he does a lot of things. He needs to talk to the boys. He needs to, this is the purpose. We are going for a purpose, and we need to do the purpose. Because you can't tell me Vuni maybe has an issue. He's one of the outstanding defenders in there, and you're going to miss his services. In the absence here of Twaha Rashid, who are some of the defenders, Mohamed, he's consistent. He's inconsistent into the game. He has not been a starter all the time. Is he going to add something? But it's a tough game for them. Maroons home. But I think if they only put a splendid performance and put up the team spirit, they can still pick something or even a point at Maroons. Maroons is a team that has come out from every time they win, their bonuses are given, and they are, you know, I keep talking to their PRO, that is Mr. Fred, and he is very good, very good guy. So I think that is the challenge killing the team of Arua Hill right now. And if only, even the vibe has gone down. Exactly. You can see Arua Hill vibe of those days is not there. Even, have you seen any new photo of Arua Hill? The new photos. These boys have been doing training sessions. Have you seen any photo coming out? That means people are striking. People are not. We're waiting to see what exactly is happening, but of course, I want to say, I'm still in the football business. It is very hard to manage a football club. Very, very hard. Yeah. Unless you get the money, unless you have another source. How many sponsors does Arua Hill have? Plascon? And how is the deal? How are the contract terms?
Exactly. Yeah, of course it does not sound so nice outside there when they said that a club like Arua Hill Sports Club does not pay the players, and some of the players they have withdrawn from the squad. It's something which is not working for the fans, and a very big fan of Arua Hill, if he also gets to hear that the players, like some of the phenomenal figures, they have refused to go for the game. If they get to hear that these players, they have refused to go for the game, of course it's not going to put them into a good mood. morale against a side that is currently on form, because Maroons, remember, they are going for this game after beating a side that has been performing so well, Wakiso Giants 2-1, and they came here, they were beaten 3-1, and Arua Hill is traveling away, and they are going to put all the efforts to make sure that they at least balance it by also picking a win against the Arua Hill side. Remember, ever since this year began, Arua Hill, they have only played one game, and that game was against KCA. Remember, they were beaten by 3-2. We are yet to see. This is again a wet trip for them if they will be in position to come back with maybe a point as maximum number of points. And leaving that story of the StarTimes Uganda Premier League, remember, this time we are discussing a personality in the names of that Frankie Sebudu crossing to Das New York Red Bulls 2 from the team that's Wakiso Giants. And I can tell you that New York Red Bulls 2 is managed by our own tactician here in the names of Das Sekaja. And this time I am very happy that this boy has gone to a club that is managed by our own tactician. So I feel it's something which is going to work out for him, because it's like you joining a club that's managed by your father. Let's at this time take Ibrahim Sekaja as a father to him, because we have seen very many Ugandans going outside to the world, and at the end they don't get that playing time. At this time he's going to our own Uganda and is going to be managed by our own Ugandan. Does it mean that he's going to have the playing time at the same time he's going to sign?
Sekaja has been a very key figure in Red Bull after he played for them also, and he has been so outstanding for Uganda as a nation. Uganda Cranes, we saw him, Ibrahim Sekaja. But of course, all in all, now let's leave that there. Serufu has been one outstanding player, and of course the boss of that is team Wakiso Giants knows business, and if this business goes in, this is what they are supposed to do. There's Ibrahim Kasule, there's Frank Sebufu, who are all from Wakiso Giants, who have crossed over to this team. And of course, it will be a very, very outstanding way for them to see that, yes, it is the time that we need to adopt. It is the time that we need to get to a better offer. You're going to meet a Ugandan in a foreign land, feels like you're at home. And you need to deliver, to not shame the person who has brought you in here, to make sure that things work out. So long as he is going to be putting like the mindset of, yes, we need to deliver to support our own. One of it is that he knows he's coming under a coach who is a hero in Uganda, who is a legend in Uganda. And then of course going under this, I think he's going to be giving the respect and learn a lot from there. Only that if they can keep the discipline, leave alone the indiscipline of Uganda, where they do Uganda in discipline, and take it that side. But there you're going to develop, allow to be nurtured, allow to get the development, then get back into Uganda when you are a star. If not, don't get back to Uganda, but get to other places so that you are a star and get your money.
Yeah, of course, we wish him the best in that club. As you said, he's going to be under the sectorship of our own tactician. And shifting away from that, remember the boss of Fulham, that's Marco Silva. At the same time, that's Alexander Mitrovic, and the club itself, that's Fulham FC rather. They have been charged by the FA for their misconduct against the game who they played in the quarterfinals of the FA Cup against Manchester United. Remember in the game, of course, the guy in the names of Mitrovic was on the red card after he wanted to grab the hands of the referee. Meanwhile, at the same time, Marco Silva was also unmannered and making the vulgar languages against the fourth official, and also throwing the bottle into the fourth official. At the same time, as I said, in that particular fixture, Diamond Williams was also sent off because of trying to block a ball from going into the back of the net. At the same time, the club itself, that's Fulham FC, being charged for their failure to control their players in the incident. Is it not going to affect the club? Because remember, the coach has been charged. Of course, he has been also given the red card at the same time, which means he's not going to take charges in the near games of the Fulham is going to play in the English Premier League. At the same time, we all know that Mitrovic has been a phenomenal figure when it comes to banking the ball into the back of the net. Now, when it comes to the English football, whether you get a red card in the League Cup, whether it be in FA, so they are going to miss the upcoming games in the English Premier League. At the same time, also a phenomenal figure in the names of Diamond Williams. Do they deserve the charges? That is the first question. At the same time, will it not affect the club, that's Fulham, as their current ambition is to make sure that they at least play in European football come next season?
Okay, very big. If you look at how the incidents I explained to you yesterday, how exactly that happened, but of course I knew the charges would come because of the reactions. Where I was watching, I even said this one, now they are going in for charges because you can't assault a referee like that. You can't throw a bottle at a referee. In fact, obstructing, even disturbing the referee's decisions in there. A referee will always be the man to decide in that pitch. Unless he's done wrong, they will summon him, just like how the recent one of who officiated Arsenal and he was summoned, lost his job. So that's how you need to do it. Take your time and wait for that. Be patient. Mitrovic's reaction obviously would deserve that. He's missing 3 games. He's going to be paying fines, and that's a very big one for a team like Fulham. That's a key man in there. You're missing, in fact, all the 3 figures. You're missing also your coach for 3 games. You're missing Willian Dos Santos, 3 games. That's too big for them, because those are the key figures who are doing a lot into that team in there. When they were pulled off, they became dull and dormant, but when they were still in the game, you saw how they were terrifying Manchester United. United had no any other chance to see that things could go. So United really needed the chances to push it harder. But now that these 3 figures won't be into the team, trust me, it's going to be affecting them. Their performance rate, workaholicness will drop, because some of the Mitrovic has always been the all-time goal scorer in that team this season, even last season. His body, he is heavy, he is huge, he has the eye for goal, he has the aerial ability, he has the strike zone, he's a complete player, but he is not going to be there. Pessiness, trickery is all with Willian Dos Santos. Now, if all these 2 are not going to be into the pitch, then you have the coach's instruction. A coach will always give you instruction basing on the tactical eye that he has gotten to see, and if that does not work out, it affects. So I think it is going to be affecting them so much, and they will really miss the services of the 3, the coach or the manager, and then of course the forward, center forward, and not forgetting of course their winger in there by the names of the Santos Silva. It's going to be affecting them.
Of course, exactly. These 3, the 2 players plus the coach, which means the trio. Of course, Fulham, they are going to miss their services, because you look at these players plus their coach Marco Silva. They had been the main guys running this club, which has made them to at least put somewhere in top 10, and that is the reason as to why I would say their current ambition is to make sure that they are at least finishing a spot that can make them to play in European football come next season. Of course, shifting our attention from there, and this time it's going to be like a bad news for the fans of England, because some of their key players, you talk of Marcus Rashford, Mason Mount, and at the same time that's Nick Pope of Fulham, not for Fulham rather, of Newcastle. Of course, they have withdrawn from the squad of England just because of injuries. Remember, Nick Pope got the injury when they were playing in Nottingham Forest on Friday. Meanwhile, for the man, that's Marcus Rashford, of course, in the game Manchester United played with Fulham, towards the closing edges of the game, he also got an injury. And for Mason Mount, he got the injury, that's a knee injury, and of course that has also kept him out of the game. Chelsea played with Everton, of course, which ended in a 2-2 draw. And now the question is, we all know that Marcus Rashford, he has been a top player for Manchester United ever since the start of the season. He has been doing a lot of tremendous job for the team, that's Manchester United. We all know that also in the World Cup of 2022, he also had good times banging the balls into the back of the net in the World Cup for England. And Nick Pope, I know Nick Pope and Mason Mount, these 2 players will not affect the squad of England so much, match. But the talking point here is Marcus Rashford. He has been getting the goals frequently for the team, that's England, and now he has missed out, and they have instead called now Ivan Toney, the attacker of that's Brentford. Now the question remains, can Ivan Toney do what this guy here, Marcus Rashford, has been doing for the team, that's England? That one remains the question. Now, yeah, you might be having the backup, and as you had just asked, but can the backup be presenting the team? Can the backup be presenting himself the way that player who is in injury had been presenting himself for the England national team? That one remains the question. Rashford not out for, rather Rashford out for England, Mason Mount out, and at the same time Nick Pope out. Is England going to miss the services of all these three players, or else you think it's only one player, that's Marcus Rashford, whom you think England, of course, is going to miss?
Yeah, Rashford is a key player, but I don't think they will miss him. They have a lot of players. Ivan Toney is a very good striker. In fact, I fancy him always so much. He's so clinical. He wastes less. Yes, Marcus Rashford has just been on form, but Ivan Toney, consistency has always been his day. He keeps saving Brentford every time, and now scoring goals for fun, and think it's going to be a very big one. Mason Mount, no, he has not been a so good starter. I don't think very good, but Nick Pope has been a goalkeeper to also talk about in there, so it gives a chance. But for England, they have a lot of players that they can do. You have Jack Grealish, you have the names of the Ivan Toney who are there. Even if they go for Sporting Lisbon, Willian, Edwards, who was very hard with Arsenal, if they can still get there. They have Bukayo Saka. They have very many players that they can get into the team. So I don't think they are going to be missing services a lot. But of course, only Rashford has the hard work and the pace that he will always put into the team. That is the reason why they would be missing him. Otherwise, it would be a very good one. I would love to analyze the three so deep, but of course, time is not our best ally.
Of course, lastly, we all know that Crystal Palace did part ways with their current manager, that's Patrick Vieira, and the reports are ongoing. In fact, it's confirmed already they are going to reappoint their former manager, whom they did part ways with in 2021, that's Roy Hodgson. So now the question is, can this man save that's Crystal Palace? And at the same time, this is the same man with whom you parted ways, and again you are bringing him back. Is he going to work and maybe make Crystal Palace to survive the relegation and remain in the league, as you summarize this?
A very big one. A good coach, but of course orthodox. He's been there for some time. The current modern football does not need sometimes the orthodox style anymore. We saw him at Crystal Palace. They fired him in 21, and he went to Watford. He half season and he didn't even complete. He was fired because he couldn't succeed in what he wanted. So it is really challenging. But of course, a couple of teams, Inter Milan, Liverpool, you saw him, Flamingo, West Bromwich Albion, Fulham. He was not really delivering, so it has been a very big challenge to him, but of course I think maybe for matters of saying that we have a manager, that's the reason why he's there, but challenging in for that, it's going to be very hard.
Of course, he has moved to a number of clubs, like Mr. Owen said, but he has not been achieving so much with all these clubs he has been in. And like you said, of course, they are bringing him to come and save them. And of course, they also had times with him before they think that this man can save them. Of course, it has been me, Benson, and Mr. Owen, and I want to thank you so much for always following West Nile TV and this so-called Whistle Time. I want to send my greetings to so many people who are always following the show, not forgetting about the zone, our cameraman and the producer in the names of that's Jonathan Opak. And you always keep it locked to that's West Nile TV. To the viewers outside there, we are glad to see you always watching West Nile TV. We are out of the studio. We'll link up again tomorrow.